and we would like to welcome everyone to tonight's call. Our Queen Calls are held the last Thursday of every month, and so today is April the 28th, and we are absolutely excited and extremely blessed that you all have joined us today. We would like to begin in prayer. Please pray, of course, in a manner in which you are accustomed to praying. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask that you come in today. We ask that you come and bless all of your sisters, all of your daughters today on this call. We pray, Allah, that you allow us to not only say something that will help to spark the minds of all of those who are on the call, but after the mind is sparked, that you would motivate us all to do something. Oh, Heavenly Father, we pray and ask for your spirit, for your undeserved mercy. We thank you for all of the blessings that you have given to us, especially a sisterhood of women who we can not only call on, but we can rely on, who are dependable, who are trustworthy, who are intelligent, who are wise, and we thank you. We thank you so much, Heavenly Father, for allowing us to be that to one another, and we thank you. We thank you for allowing us to be joined here tonight so that we could continue to magnify your name and glorify your absolute praise and make ourselves worthy of our existence. Amen. Welcome to all of the queens that are on the call tonight. We have something very, very, very special in store for you all. We have with us, joining us today, we have Sister ZaZa Ali, and we would love to welcome her to Queendom Come organization, which is a non-profit organization who caters to women who as young as 9 all the way up until, of course, adulthood. And we celebrate women as we strive to mentor the young ones and help to learn from the older ones. And we can have a sisterhood that is absolutely activated. Of course, we as professional women, we do so many different things for everyone else. And our biggest mistake oftentimes is that we don't take care of ourselves while we're busy taking care of our mates and our children and our family, as we take care of our church, our synagogue, our mosque, and our friends, and we put ourselves last. We need to make a sacred time, and that's what this is. This is our Queen Calls, or our sacred time, in which we use to share and empower one another and expand our sisterhood. The Queen Calls, of course, are open for people all over the United States, and we welcome everyone to come on and just have the positive energy that we can learn from, and it's important that we stay in communication with one another. I know, as I like to do with my girlfriends, and I'm sure everyone else does as well, we love to sit on the phone and we talk about the latest tea, or we may talk about things that are going on that are positive, or we may talk about things that are encouraging and uplifting to one another. And so we want to just expand that sisterhood circle to where we have women who, no matter where we are, that we're still bonded, that we're still connected by like minds, by like energy, and just the overall objective and goals that we want to make everything better, and starting with ourselves. Sister Sadia Evangelista is going to introduce our wonderful guest. Sister Sadia?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me, Sister Watkins? Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Okay, good. So I'm just super excited about this sister. I had a chance to meet her a couple of months ago, but I've been following her, her blogs, her lectures, and it was just an honor and a privilege when I found out that she was going to be coming to Houston a couple of months ago, and just hear her. I mean, she had the audience captivated by her wisdom and the knowledge, the things that she has studied throughout her life, and just her love for us, the love for the woman, the love for the black woman is phenomenal. And when you meet her, you can feel that connection with her. So without further ado, I'm going to read her bio, and then I know that she's been birthing a message for us, and I can't wait to get to it. So Queen ZaZa Ali is a mother, a teacher, an activist, radio personality, and an author. Her first novel, entitled Black Matters, Volume 1, The Scientific Intervention in Our Affairs, was released in May of 2015. Volume 2, Plagues of Dysfunction, has been released, I believe, this month, She's a frequent speaker on behalf of women and children. She has spoken in venues ranging from juvenile detention centers to community organizations to universities. Her topics range from the war on the black woman to the scientific intervention in our affairs, surviving a genetically modified society. She is most well known for her consistent blogs dealing with social injustices and shedding light on the plight of Black America. Her articles and interviews have been featured in websites such as Uganda Goes Online, World News, Your Black World, and Lipstick Alley. She has become a major force on social media, using her voice to implement programs to financially assist business owners as well as privately owned and operated schools. Queen ZaZa started teaching at-risk youth in California in 2010. Being a witness to oppression, inequality, poverty, and social injustice is what inspired her to take this journey. Her readers will come away with a better understanding of who she is, what, when, where, whys, and the hows that have aided to modern black suffrage. Sister Queen ZaZa places emphasis on Black America and our need to adequately study the system of racism, which lends to white supremacies, as well as take responsibility for where we are today to improve our position not only in America but globally as well. So without further ado, I would like for our sister Queen ZaZa to come on board and just give us what God has put into her spirit. Sister ZaZa?
Oh, wow. Okay. Peace to both of you beautiful queens. Are you hearing me okay?
Oh, yes, ma'am. We can hear you loud and clear.
Okay. Oh, man, it's so difficult for me to hear things about me being said. It makes me feel kind of funny, and I guess it's because I am always so focused and centered around elevating the people around me that when I hear others elevate me, it makes me twitch a little bit. But I am so thankful and so honored to be with you. I'm so thankful to both of you for this beautiful, beautiful platform. I pray within as well as to the divine mind, as well as to each and every one of the sisters who are listening to the sound of my voice, as well as everyone who will hear this broadcast when it's archived, that I may say something tonight that will tap into the minds and hearts of the people for us to change and for us to edify ourselves. I am all of those things that were mentioned in my bio. Most importantly, I am a mother, not only to my 12-year-old son, Nassim, but to all of our children. And I take that extremely serious in my work as well as in my daily life. It's ironic for us to be having this call right now because where I am right now in my mind and in my spirit and in my heart, I was actually writing a post on Facebook, and I haven't finished it yet, but it started out that moment when you realize that your heart, soul, and mind is crying out, yearning for something that is beyond anything that this world can provide. That's my current situation. That's when you realize that the power of everything you've ever studied, desired, trained for, needed, resides in you. The only path to enlightenment is within you. And that is to set the tone for what we are going to discuss tonight, the power of the mind, the power of the black woman, and where we are versus where we can and where we should be as women as well as our people. I want to say that I know that there are different types of sisters who are listening to this call right now. I know we have mothers, we have wives, we have young women, we have older sisters, we have professional women, we have single mothers, we have Afrocentric queens, we have, there's some people right outside my window. I don't know what's going on, but it looks like they're moving. We have sisters who are just now coming into consciousness. We have teachers, healers. We have sisters who are struggling with really serious issues. We have happy women who are on the line. We have sisters who are struggling with insecurity. We have women, I know for a fact, who have been molested, who have been through very traumatic experiences, who are experiencing different levels of pain, and who feel alone. I know for a fact that there are sisters that are on this call right now, and I just want to let you know that you are not alone, that we have all experienced various levels of joys and pains and fears and frustration and, all of those things that make us human, that qualify us to be the mothers of civilization, to persevere and endure what we have been through as women, as mothers, as wives, and for us to actually be here in 2016 in this moment in time, taking control of our lives and taking a step forward towards edifying ourselves. I salute each and every one of you. You may be resonating with the sound of my voice, but I want to let you know that it was you who manifested this reality. Something inside of you is calling out right now for a message that's going to change your life, or that's going to redirect your path, or that's going to continue you on the path towards mastering yourself, or enlightenment, or reaching the highest spiritual and mental plateaus of yourself. So it was you who called this into existence. I'm just here to serve. I am a servant. And so you called me, you willed me to be here on this date, on this line right now, and so therefore I'm here. I want us to ask ourselves a question as sisters, as black women. How did we become the joke of the world? How did we become so disrespected by our men and by our children in our communities, on social media, on television, in magazines, newspapers, schools, in academia, in the corporate world? How in every single facet of society and civilization has the black woman become the laughing stock of the world? Now, you may not think so. Someone may be listening and saying, well, that's not true. I know women who are taking care of business. I know women who are this. I'm not talking about on an individual small scale. I'm talking about collectively as black women all around the world. Put in black women on YouTube and do a search and see how there are literally tens of thousands of videos where our men and our sons and even some of our daughters are going out of their way to disrespect and demean us. And then we turn around and gravitate towards that same behavior and put out images and messages that carry on that insanity. And the unfortunate thing is that in acknowledging that truth, a lot of us as women are being ruled and controlled by our emotions. There is a little boy outside screaming. Okay. A lot of us as women are being ruled and controlled by our emotions. We are suffering and worried all the time, dealing with fear, dealing with self-doubt, dealing with self-hatred, dealing with loneliness, dealing with heartache, dealing with financial struggles, dealing with health issues, dealing with problems with our children, dealing with racism, dealing with mental and spiritual poverty. And I want to underscore mental and spiritual poverty because a lot of us are on a quest for money and for comfort and physical comfort and a quality of life, which we absolutely should be. But sometimes we strive to attain those things and we neglect the spiritual and the mental aspect of ourselves, and then we wind up being rich slaves to a society and a culture that is exploiting us. And this is why we see a lot of our celebrities right now who are absolutely out of touch with any level of spirituality and enlightenment, and then our people are following them into hell. And when I say hell, know and understand, I'm not talking about a place underneath our feet where you are going to burn forever. That doesn't even make sense if you think about it, that there could be a core pit within the center of the earth where there are literally hundreds of trillions of people or hundreds of billions of people or hundreds of millions of people who are burning underneath our feet. That's another conversation for another time. But when I talk about hell, I am talking about mental and spiritual hell, mental and spiritual poverty. So I want to just make a note here before I go on my computer. I'm looking at Amy Joyner's picture. And I know that I'm so serious in this moment right now because this story of this sister has really, 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 really touched me. And, for us as women to sit back and see our daughters and this is just one story of many stories where young black girls are taking on bully type of demeanors and behaviors and terrorizing one another because they hate themselves. So I'm looking at this young sister's picture, and I thought a lot about what she must have went through, the terror that she must have felt in that moment. And I want to underscore her life, her tragedy, as well as all of the young sisters who may listen to this, who may hear this, or that you may come in contact with on a daily basis. These are our daughters. So if we are going to call ourselves the mothers of civilization, then we have to qualify ourselves as the mothers of civilization. Every single day, we walk past young girls who are crying out for help, and we don't do anything. We don't intervene. We don't let them know that we love them, that we cherish them, that we honor them, and that we value them. And, of course, that goes hand in hand with our men as well. But we're talking directly to the sisters right now. And I know that I'm on the line with some prominent women who are active and who are working for the greater good of our sisters. So please don't take what I'm saying as, in the spirit of, well, no, that doesn't apply to me. Just hear the intention from my heart and what I'm saying, because whatever we're doing, we're not doing enough. We really, really need to stop and take an honest assessment of ourselves as women, the way we represent ourselves, the way we're represented in the media, and the lack of integrity and intervention that comes into play when we talk about black children. So I want to dedicate this to Sister Amy Joyner, her legacy and her life, as well as, of course, the legacy of Dr. Frances Cress Welsing, who I'm going to talk about a little bit later. So I want to give you 5 books, and this will be archived. So if you don't have a pen, you can go back and write this down. I think that these 5 books are tools that all of us can use that will give you a proper understanding, and should be able to reach. One of these books should be able to reach you on whatever level you're on. If you're just coming into knowledge of self, if you don't even have a clue about what it means to be conscious, or if you've been studying for some time and you're trying to go to the next level, one of these books or all of these books will be able to help you on your path. The first one is Straight to the Heart by Dr. Jewel Pookrum. Her last name is Pookrum. I'm going to quote that book shortly. The second one is Real Love by Dr. Ava Muhammad. The third one is The ISIS Papers by Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. The fourth one is The Science of Breath by Yogi Ramacharaka, and that one's actually online. The PDF for that book is online for free. You can go right to Google and look up The Science of Breath by Yogi Ramacharaka. And then the last one, is The Kabbalion. And The Kabbalion is a little bit more advanced. I still recommend that you get the book, because even if you're not there yet, you will get there if you're on the path of discovering and searching yourself. But the Kabbalion is dealing with a higher level of self-mastery. And actually, I'm going to give you a quote from this to kind of set the tone for what we're going to talk about. In the chapter, which chapter is this? Let's see. The Principle of Rhythm. It says, the masses of people are carried along, obedient to environment, the wills and desires of others stronger than themselves, heredity, suggestion, and other outward causes moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. But the masters, rising to the plane above, dominate their moods, characters, qualities, and powers, as well as the environment surrounding them, and become movers instead of pawns. They help to play the game of life instead of being used, played, and moved about by other wills and environment. I can tell you in no uncertain terms that we are being moved around on a chessboard of life like pawns. And we're going to talk about the power of thought and you controlling your own thought. And if we take an honest assessment of our lives today, where we are, what we have, what we've consumed, what we've acquired, financially, socially, our successes on the job, different relationships that we've had. If you look at your life and assess yourself right now, are you happy? Are you satisfied with where you are right now? Or is your heart and your mind and your spirit crying out into the universe for something more? I know the answer to that question because we live in hell. We are living in a society that is geared towards dumbing you down, exploiting you sexually, and making you think that the only thing that you have to offer the world is the size of your behind and your waist-to-hip ratio. That is making you feel less than, less qualified, insecure, ineffective, inefficient, in all the different avenues that we come across on a daily basis. So how do we go from being pawns to being a mover and a shaker to being a master? That's where my mindset is at. And I'm not there yet. I'm not even going to front like I am. I'm not there yet. But I eat, sleep, and breathe that. I'm not living on the clock of this world. I don't live by the regulations set by this society. I am totally contrary to this world. And it's being elevated and exasperated every single day to the point where now I'm trying to figure out how to, deal and at the same time seek the spiritual and the mental enlightenment that I am striving for. So The Kabbalion is definitely another book that we want to look into and study to understand the principles of polarity, the principles of vibration, the principles of rhythm, mentalism, gender. How is it that we've been sold this lie that women are somehow inferior to men? Who made that science up? And we could go into the Quran, we could go into the Bible, we could go into the 42 laws of Ma'at, we could go into the Soul Scrolls, we could go into all of the different ancient as well as modern teachings. How did we as women, the only entity in the universe that can give life to the most powerful being, which is the human being that ever walked the earth, how have we bought into the lie that we are inferior to our men? So much so that most of what we do reflects around what men want, what men need, what they think about what we wear, what they think about how we do our hair, and then turning around and using science and mathematics and whatnot to prove the point. Your brain is smaller than mine, so you are inferior to me, or your muscle mass is smaller than mine, so you are inferior to me. Yeah, bruh, but can you push an 8-pound, 8-ounce baby out of a hole the size of a quarter? Talk to me when you can do that. But, and we've internalized that. And I can't tell you how many sisters that I come in contact with. Most women who contact me who are searching for something and looking for something, their problems revolve around men. And I bear witness because I've been there. Trust. And then I look back at all of the different stages and phases in my life when I was in my late teens, when I was in my early 20s, when I was in my late 20s, when I was in my early 30s, when I was in my mid-30s, and I'm 37 now. How many different whirlwinds I allowed myself to be taken on because of men in my life. And I say that, and I'm the type of woman, like, I never had to be with a man. I've spent a lot of time alone, single. I have friends who can't be without a man, who don't even know how to sleep in the bed at night for more than 2 or 3 days without having a warm body next to her, even if you don't have a brain. There's a quote in Straight from the Heart, Dr. Jill Pookrum. She says, "You must sit on your shoulder and observe yourself so that you can see what you are thinking. Most people think automatically. They're not even aware of what they think most of the time. Watching yourself from your mind's eye allows you to get reacquainted with your runaway mind. Once you have identified how your mind works, you can then reset it inside yourself and navigate your life from within your head." That is so powerful to me. I think I've read this one quote probably 15 times in the past 2 days because I'm reading this book right now along with a couple of other books. Navigating your life from inside of your head. Stop when you're thinking negatively and ask yourself, why am I doing this? I have conversations with sisters all the time, and I let them run their whole, problem down. Okay, I'm going through this, my children, my job, I let them run it out. They talk 10, 15, sometimes 30 minutes. So I just listen. And then when I start talking about, okay, well, here, let's do this. I want you to read these books. What are you eating? Okay, you got to change your diet. I'm giving them what they're asking me for, and they go right back into the problems. I know, but you just don't know, man. This girl, that my friend that I hang around with, she's always doing this and shit. And I listen for another minute, and I say, okay, cool. Well, let's do this. Why don't you sit down and write her a letter and let her know that if she doesn't change, and then they go, okay, well, yeah, that's a good idea. But you know what? Even if I do that, we live in our problems. We immerse ourselves in drama, and most of the drama that you're dealing with is because of somebody else. So you have people that come on your path all the time. The law of attraction is real. Whatever you are thinking in your mind, I guarantee you everything that's taking place in your life right now came as a result of something that you thought, or something that you were afraid of, or something that you feared, or something that you worried about, something that you expected, or something that you wanted. I'll give you an example. Almost 2 months ago, it was in a car, and now before this happened, that day I was at a youth. I didn't have an umbrella. We're leaving. It's raining like crazy. Somebody left what looked like a brand new totes umbrella, and those totes umbrellas are not cheap, probably $75 or so, sitting under their seat. And we were one of the last people to leave, so I know that they left it. They left it. They probably would have come back later, whatever. So I see the umbrella. It's a very nice umbrella. I'm like, I leave it. I ended up taking the umbrella because I needed it. When I tell you that my laptop internally in so much taking an umbrella. Strange if you're hearing this, but I'm telling you I'm really, I'm at a certain stage in my life where I really am striving to be the best person that I can. I want to be good. I want to do good. I want to benefit the world. I want to benefit people. So I really was feeling, fast forward a couple of hours, my laptop's went through the whole emotion. I'm crying. I'm crazy. Because all of the writing and all of the data. And so the thought occurred to me while I was in the parking lot waiting for the police, you should not have taken that umbrella. So I say all of that to say, and I'm not saying that the universe paid me back, oh, you took an umbrella, so we're going to get you back and take your computer. No, it was internally the conflict that I was going through as a result of what I did that I believe manifested that happening to me. So when you understand the power of your thoughts and the power of your thinking, when you go out, when you have these salacious feelings towards other women, when you see a beautiful woman who walks into the room that's on her square, that's powerful, that's making strides, that's doing things, whatever it is she's doing, and you feel that little kernel of envy inside of you, that little jealous thing where you're sizing her up, trying to see the flaws in her, when you're intentionally sabotaging people behind the scenes, and even though nobody sees it, you know inside of your heart that you're doing wrong. When you think and worry and stress about what your boyfriend or your husband is doing to the point where you're in his phone and you're checking his pockets and you know, all of this insanity. If you're doing all that, you shouldn't even be with this brother anyway. But the point that I'm trying to convey is that most, if not all, of the suffering that we experience and the setbacks that we experience and the errors that we experience, starts in our mind. Thoughts are real, powerful things. I don't have time to go into the science of thinking and the science of, you know, we'll do that at another time because I want to make sure that I touch all bases. But there is a experiment. Let me stop. I'm going to read this off. I got this from this website talking about the power of emotions and the power of heart, and I just want to read some of the talking points to just help us to understand how low of a level that we are living and existing in this reality and not understanding our real true power, not just as women, but as human beings. It says your heart emits electromagnetic fields that change according to your emotions. Your heart emits electromagnetic fields that change according to your emotions. That means that your emotions are giving off signals to other people who are around you that you don't even have a clue about based on what's happening inside of you. So your children are affected. Your friends are affected. Your family is affected. And we all know you can be floating on cloud nine, and then you run into somebody who has a very bad energy and aura about them. The next thing you know, your whole energy has changed. Your whole vibe has changed. But then the question for us becomes, are you that person? Are you the one that walks into the room and makes everybody else feel a little bit less satisfied with themselves, or makes them feel angry, or makes them feel less than? It says the human heart's electromagnetic field can be measured up to several hundred feet away from the body. Positive emotions create physiological benefits in the body. There was a study done, experiment. I implore you to look this up. Masaru Emoto, Masaru Emoto, Emoto. It's called the water molecule experiment. It basically talks about how he did an experiment with water. He put 100 glasses of water, and he split them in half, and half of the glasses of water, he said very loving and kind and compassionate things to them. He also played classical music and different Asian melodies that have a high vibration to them. The other experiment was to take the other 50 glasses of water and play heavy metal and say very negative and demeaning things to these glasses of water. The outcome of the experiment was that the water that was in the positive group, where positive energy was sent towards the water, crystallized into very beautiful and geometric crystallized shapes in water. Of course, this is under a microscope, but it created geometric shapes crystallized in the water. The water that the negativity was imposed on, it became grainy, it became black, it became muddy, it became dirty, and it became very ugly. So the point of the experiment was that, and of course, you know, the human body is 75% water. The negativity that was imposed on the water physically affected how this water looked and how its existence, the quality of the element, and the positivity absolutely affected and impacted the water. So if we are 75% water and we are walking around every day demeaning ourselves, cursing ourselves, discouraging ourselves, questioning ourselves at every turn. Oh, I hate my job. Oh, I can't stand my sister. Oh, I can't stand my mother. Oh, my son gets on my nerves. I wish he would just shut up. Oh, I'm so sick of this job. I need to find another job. I want to start a business, but I don't know how. I can't do it. I know I'm not smart enough to do this. I know I'm not smart enough to do that. I'm not pretty enough. I'm not light-skinned enough. My hair is not straight enough. I wish I had a bigger butt. I wish I had bigger breasts. I wish my teeth were straighter. I hate my nose. I hate my hair. I hate this house that I live in. I hate this apartment that I live in. I hate the neighborhood that I live in. I wish I had a new car. I hate this car. I need new clothes. I hate the way I look. I look raggedy. If we do that to ourselves, and we do that to ourselves constantly, what is happening on the inside of us is we are generating so much negativity that it is impacting us not only physically but psychologically. The whole genetic chemistry in your body is changing based on the way you think. Then don't add a toxic man into the equation, because I know some of y'all sisters are in relationships right now with some brother that's got his foot on your neck, that calls you stupid and calls you ugly and calls you out of your name and disrespects you and probably puts his hands on you, and you make excuses because you don't want to be alone. or because your father used to put his hands on your mother, or because that's all you know is insanity and dysfunction. So now you are insanity and dysfunction. We are living on a state of existence that is destroying us. And it's so sad because it's so simple to change it around, literally in the twinkling of an eye. When the Bible talks about changing things around in the twinkling of an eye, that is real. You can own your life and your existence and what you want to take place in your life starting right here, right now, today. And that's probably why you're on this call right now. So positive emotions create physiological benefits in the body. You can boost your immune system by conjuring positive emotions. Let me say that again. You can boost your immune system by conjuring positive emotions. In the book Straight from the Heart, there's a chapter where Dr. Pukram talks about red blood cells, and she talks about studying and focusing in on sacred geometry, and how in focusing on sacred geometry, which if you go on Google, pull up images and look up sacred geometry, this goes back to the crystallized images in the water. This goes back to geometry. This goes back into the science of the universe, how this whole entire universe was formed. So she's talking about red blood cells, and she's talking about studying sacred geometry, but also the thoughts in your mind, that you can literally heal your body just by the way that you are thinking and the energy that you send through to your red blood cells. She says to sincerely practice non-judgment requires you in consciousness to sit on your own shoulder and observe your thoughts, reactions, and responses to your world. You have to observe yourself in third person to be able to just see how judgmental you are. It is only from this observation point that you see the dynamics of how much conscious and subliminal judging that you do of yourself. I'm not one of those, let me just qualify this. I'm not one of those persons that, I think that the term judgment has been totally watered down and is misused. There's a lot of things that we need to be judging in our communities, in our homes, and even of ourselves. So I don't want to use that term judgment inappropriately. Understand that, if you live in the hood, you better be making judgments every day. If your children live in the hood, you definitely better be making judgments about who they hang around with, where they go. That intuition, that is judgment. But the intention behind the judgment is key. So you can boost your immune system by conjuring positive emotions. That goes back to what Dr. Pukram is talking about with the red blood cells and changing the physical makeup of your body internally, which then will change your physical makeup externally. It says negative emotions create a nervous system chaos, but positive emotions do the opposite. In fetal development, the heart forms and starts beating before the brain. The Native Americans teach that, this concept of following the heart. Always follow your heart. Your heart is the key. And I agree with that, absolutely. The problem is that we misinterpret the heart. So we'll say, you feel butterflies in your stomach for this dude that is no good for you. But you feel that feeling inside of you, that emotional attachment for this man, and you go against your mind, which is telling you to run in a different direction because you think your heart is feeling a certain type of way. But if we understood the connection and the synchronicity of the mind and the heart, then we would understand that the heart is really in sync with the mind. It is the pride and the ego and insecurity and all these other things that come into play that is misdirecting you. It says a mother's brain waves can synchronize to her baby's heartbeat. The heart sends more information to the brain than vice versa. And positive emotions help the brain in creativity and innovative problem solving. And that goes back to the experiment with Masaru Emoto, the water molecule experiment, as well as what Dr. Pukram said. So let me just tell you this story. Back in 2010, I was indicted by the federal government for a case of bank fraud, And for a year and a half, I've had to go back to all of the different preliminary hearings, all of the different bull crap that they take you through in order to get to the point where you actually go to trial. And for a year and a half, every single court date, I was alone. I was there with my attorney, but my family, none of my friends, nobody came to support me. I was there alone. One day, one of my professors went to court with me because I had reached out to him because I was trying to find another attorney to come and represent me. I was scared as hell, but he came with me. And I remember sitting in court, and it wasn't any big thing that was happening that day, just regular, come in, discuss the semantics, and then leave. And I'm in San Francisco federal court, and this is big, very intimidating room, and I'm scared out of my mind about the whole situation. And so my professor comes with me. He was also a friend. And I remember sitting there, and I was in that same cold, tense state of mind that I was always in when I was there. And he put his arm around me. And when I tell you, I didn't have any, emotions for this, but I didn't like him. I didn't have a crush on him or anything. We're just, very platonic friends. When he put his arm around me, it gave me so much comfort. It gave me so much ease. All of that tenseness, all of that pain and that struggle and that strife and that those issues that I was scared out of my mind just by that brother putting his arms around me. It made me feel so much better. And it made me think about, and I was good once he did that. Like I can't even stress enough to you. I didn't think I have the adequate words to let you know how powerful that moment was. But it made me think about growing up without a mother. And it made me think about the fact that my father didn't really feel comfortable hugging me. He didn't come from a situation where love was conveyed in his family. So we never really hugged like that, and I didn't really break that cycle until my son came into my life. And even when he came into my life, I had to go through this thing where I was like, man, why do I have an issue? Like, I had to embrace the love and the emotion and the unconditional connection that I had for myself. I had to embrace it because even though I was doing it, part of myself that you talk about stepping outside of yourself and assessing yourself was like, man, I never got this. So in my book, Plagues of Dysfunction, there is a chapter where I talk about how to give birth to a God. And I'm quoting this author named Joseph Chilton Pierce. He has a book called Magical Child. It says, quote, the neural processing capabilities of the newborn make her need the sight of the human face at a distance of 12 to 16 inches, precisely the distance between a breastfeeding baby's eyes and his mother's face, as the key referent for both optimal neural development and the mirroring attachment duet with her mother. We know now that the human heart puts out a measurable energy field. This goes back to that electromagnetic field that we talked about before. We know now that the human heart puts out a measurable energy field that can resonate and entrain with others, and a baby requires entrainment between her own less stable, coherent heart rhythms and those of her mother, such that nature has embedded into humans the world over, irrespective of all variations, including dominant-handedness. When it says dominant-handedness, it means whether you're left-handed or you're right-handed. The instinct to hold babies in the left arm carry position, increasing the proximity of the two hearts to one another, presumably because of both the comforting rhythm the adult heartbeat provides the baby, as well as the optimized nesting of baby's heart field within that of the adult. Within a very short time, around 45 minutes, without the face pattern and the heart entrainment, a baby's system begins to go into shock, releasing large amounts of the stress hormone cortisol, which is highly neurotoxic, meaning it kills brain cells. Excuse me. Human breast milk is the lowest in fat and protein. It's very watery and weak as far as the texture of any in the animal kingdom, requiring frequent feeding, which in turn ensures that the face pattern and heart entrainment are reestablished frequently to maintain homeostasis and optimal neurological, psychological, and physiological development. Now, let me put this in layman's terms. This goes back to us as women thinking that we are somehow carrying ourselves and demeaning ourselves in such a low fashion. This is telling you that when you have a child, when you bring that life into the world, that your body, your heart is already set up on a time clock with your child to be in rhythm with your heartbeat. That baby not only needs to see your face and to feel the skin touch, which goes back to the hugging and the caressing, but the child also needs to actually feel your heartbeat, or it will go into shock, and it will have a very devastating impact. Now, the question for us is, how many of us grew up without that? Even if your mother was in your life, and I know plenty of women who had negative experiences with their mothers, who don't have positive relationships with their mothers to this day. You think that doesn't affect you? You think that there's not some yearning inside of your heart and your spirit that is crying out for that level of compassion and love and that heartbeat and the resonance of that face that's supposed to take care of you and secure you no matter what? And then the bigger aspect of that is, the earth has a heartbeat. Some people call it vibration. Some people say it's the ohm, the sound of the ohm, whatever you want to call it. But the earth actually has a heartbeat. So our ancient ancestors would do sun gazing, where they would plant their feet into the earth, not on concrete, not on wood chips, not on plastic dirt. I mean, not plastic dirt, fake dirt or fake grass, but in the earth, in the dirt, in the grass, and sun gaze at when the sun would get to right near its setting point, and look directly at the sun for, they say, 20 to 30 seconds. I admit I've done it longer than that, but I'll do it for 20 to 30 seconds, then I'll turn away, kind of let that light that burns in your eyes mellow out a little bit, and then I'll go back and I'll do it again, where you are activating your pineal gland with the sun penetrating the pineal gland. That's another class for another time. Just bear with me. And at the same time, placing your feet in the earth and resonating with that Mother Earth, that original heartbeat that all of us are supposed to be succinct with. So I'm looking at outside the window at concrete right now. We live in concrete jungles. Most of us don't even visit the beach. Some of us never get to go in a park. I don't know how people live in New York City. I could never live there because I am so in awe and so appreciative of nature and the fact that your children don't have parks within, 5 blocks or however many blocks that they can go and actually play in grass. I mean, this is affecting us psychologically, physiologically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. So in looking at all of these different things that I've laid out, and of course I could write a 500-page book on the power of the mind. So I don't want you to think that I'm just trying to cover this whole story in an hour. No, that's impossible. I could write a 500-page book and wouldn't even begin to scratch the surface. I mean, there is so much information out here, and this is the thing. We are living in an age of technology right now. So it is imperative for us to first seek, before you even figure out what it is that you want to learn or study. I'm a student of history. That was the thing that fueled my fire. Before you even figure out what your thing is, you have to have that driving, burning sensation inside of you to seek knowledge, to seek God. Because the only thing you're looking for is yourself. So I made a list of things that I think that all of us should do and concentrate on in order to emphasize and strengthen the power of the mind. And this starts from all the way down to, you might be about to get evicted. You might, not have a car. You might be walking to work. if you may be on the lowest of lows, or you may be making $200,000 a year, happily married, wherever you are, these are things that all of us can and should be doing in order to satisfy ourselves. Clean your house or your car. You shouldn't be living in filth. This is a no-brainer. Your car shouldn't look like World War III. If you want to have a mentally clear mind, you can't be surrounded by clutter. Be of service to someone else. I told you I'm a servant. I live by that. Like, I literally, it's just something that's driving me, and I'm trying to put my finger on exactly what it is. But there is something that is driving me right now to help other people, and I can't stress enough for us to be of service. Wakiti and Sister Sadia are of service right now. That's why you're listening. Those sisters are doing what needs to be done. And this is just one of the things that they're doing. They're both in their individual lives doing work on behalf of women and our people, our children. Get off social media. I don't know why we feel the need to go on social media and tell every single thing about every single thing that we're doing. I just came from this place. I'm going to that place. Here's what I'm doing now. It's like, and I'm not saying that there's anything wrong with that, but I'm saying, are you at peace within yourself without that? That's what we have to ask ourselves. Do I really need to tell everybody about everything about what I'm doing? Do I really need validation from other people that I just came from, wherever it is that I just came from? And, you have family and friends. If that's your thing, that's fine. But the majority of women and people in general that are on social media are looking for validation and looking for something that you are not going to find online. So I think everybody should take at least 1 or 2 days off of social media, like, period. Not checking inboxes, not looking to see who liked what, not seeing what this person said. Log off. I don't even have the, well, yes, I do. I set it up. I didn't have the Facebook app for a long time, but I did turn it on because, anyway, that's neither here or there. Get off social media. Surround yourself by nature. We already went through the science of that. I can look out the window and see trees. I love the palm trees. I love the beauty of nature. I can look at a tree and I'm like, man, that tree has like literally 100,000 leaves, one tree. And there's probably 100 billion trees around the world. And trees are here for our protection. They're here to clean the atmosphere. So surround yourself with nature. Buddha said, if we could see the miracle of one flower, it would literally change your life. I am in awe. Like, if anybody that follows my Facebook page, I constantly post things that are relevant to nature because I am extremely in awe of nature, because through all of the beauty and just the exquisiteness of it, I see myself. I see God. I see the best of what this world has to offer. Order a National Geographic subscription instead of going and buying you some new shoes. Go on the internet sites that, have beautiful exotic birds and beautiful, rare flowers, and, spend time just looking at those things and wanting to be connected with that. And then venture out. I'm in California. There's 4 beaches within 20 minutes of me. But if you're not in California, do some research. Go online and figure out, where you can go locally, where you can take your children to, or just go by yourself and sit with nature. Get up early. I've been, for the past 3 weeks, I have been waking up at 5 o'clock, between 5 o'clock and 5:30 every single morning so I can do meditation, because around 6:30, I can hear the world. I hear cars passing. I can hear the buses pass. I can hear, I hear activity. But at 5 o'clock in the morning, nobody's up. I can meditate and be still. I can listen to the sounds of my own heart, listen to my own mind, and qualify where I'm trying to go and what that yearning is, that pulling is inside of me. Think positive thoughts. We went through the science of all of that. You have to be kind to yourself. Monitor your thinking, and every time a negative thought comes into your mind, dead it. Every single time. And I'm telling you, when I became aware of the power of thinking and I started studying my own thinking, I was like, oh my God, I've been destroying myself. Like, how did it get to this where I became this much of a hindrance and an enemy to my own self? So study your thoughts. And when you're meditating, smile deep down into the crevices of every single organ that you have. Smile within yourself. It's going to take some practice, but I guarantee you once you do it, it's going to change your energy and how your days progress. Do physical things. Every single day you should be walking. Yoga. I'm addicted to yoga. It's no secret, anybody that knows me. I just went to a class today. It is extremely beneficial for me. Pilates. You can go on YouTube and watch videos. You don't even have to pay for a gym membership anymore. There's no more excuses. And martial arts, all of us need to be trained on how to fight and defend ourselves, not only for the defense aspect of it, but the discipline. Actually starting something and then being able to follow through and finish it. Push-ups and sit-ups. Go old school if you have to. But every single day we should be doing something physical for ourselves. Stretch. But start your day off with you. Not with waking the children up for school, not with getting your husband's coffee ready, not with, going on Facebook and social media. And it's too much access online to too many other minds to the point where you can't even hear your own. Start your day off with you. I cannot stress enough the power of love, that physical touch, that connection that you want to have with somebody. And even if you don't have it, even if you don't have a man in your life, sit around and think about it. Daydream about what that brother's what it's going to feel like for him to hug you, to pick you up and to embrace you, to kiss you on your forehead and to be there holding your hand when you're going through something. Dream about it. Make him real in your mind first. So don't wallow in, I don't have a man. I don't have nobody here with me. No, you have to own in your mind what you want to manifest in your life. So think about how he's going to talk to you. Think about you guys sitting around and laughing, going to the movies, walking in the park, holding hands, talking about different conversations, whatever you're into. Your imagination is the real true God. Imagine it in your mind and watch it manifest in your life. We have a group called the Sister Cypher Support Group, where we, basically 105 women, make a $10 donation every 2 weeks to one of our members. If you want to be a part of it, you can hit me up on Facebook. You can email me at zazaali007@gmail.com. 2 weeks, we're putting at least 10,000. Yeah, that's the goal. That's a Freudian slip. $1,000 in another black woman's pocket. This is all of these women coming together and being of service to one another. That's the least I can do to help my sisters, is put $20 out there a month. If you don't want to be a part of that, find another way. Start your own group. Most of us know 20 women. Maybe you could get 20 women together and y'all, create something, do something. But get the women together and create a financial goal so that you can actually see a tangible benefit from your own work. Stop trying to do everything. We, as black women, and I have friends, and hopefully one of my friends is listening to this because she knows I'm talking about her, who literally got in a relationship with a man and did not know how to let this brother go get the groceries and, fix things around it. She was so used to doing everything as a single mother that he had to, be like, okay, slow down, let me do that, I got this. Men need to be needed. Our men need to be needed. And we're walking around saying we don't need our men. So that's a big problem. And then the flip side of that is that we are showing our sons that women are supposed to do everything, which means they don't have to do anything. And we're showing our daughters that they have to do everything and that the men that come into their lives don't have to do much. So a lot of the problems that we see in our men today come from our grandmothers and the women who raised us up and how they raised us versus how they raised the men in our lives. So stop trying to do everything. And if you need help, tell people when you need help. And even if you don't have anybody to help you, admit to yourself that I need help. And then think about how it's going to feel when that good friend comes along that you can talk to and share your experiences with. Think about that man that's going to come into your life and help you when your car gets broke down. Think about own the reality that you want, the friendships that you want. Be the type of friend that you want to be, that you want to come into your life. Create a vision board. There's a website, ChristineCane.com. If you go on her website, she has a free ebook where she talks about how to set up a vision board. Create a vision board for everything that you want in your life. Put a family on there, a couple on there. You want a child, put a picture of a child and a baby on there, a family. You want to travel around the world, put some suitcases on there. Put some images of Italy and Greece and Kemet and South Africa and, Peru or wherever it is you want to go around the world. Create a vision board and look at it every day. Watch those things start manifesting in your life. Read something every single day. Every day you should be reading something. Like I'm a nerd to a fault. I have to confess. I'm reading like 5 books right now, and then sometimes I'll pick up another book and read, and then I'll read articles. I constantly have to feed my mind. It is mandatory. Some of us go for months without reading. I ask these young people and even sisters, I'm like, what's the last book you read? You've read. And then if they have read, they're reading that urban smut literature where it's talking about, anyway, y'all know what it is. Read. You can, and while you're in the car, put on an ebook. Listen to YouTube videos. Joel Pookrum, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. There's so much information online. Listen to Malcolm X. If you're a single mother and you don't have a man in your child's life, you should have Malcolm X on in the car. Get you an auxiliary cord and plug it up to the system so that they can hear what a strong black man sounds like. You should have some of the more prominent scholars and warriors that our children may not be familiar with on your walls. They should know. They should be able to readily identify the faces of our great ones, and just black art in general. All of us should have black art in our households. That establishes the standard of beauty. So we can't be mad if our daughters are looking at Allure and Vogue and wanting to look like that if you ain't got no images of no black queens in your house. Be focused and be serious. There's nothing wrong with having fun. There's nothing wrong with going out into the world and living but be serious about something. We live for the weekend. You know what I mean? Like, you don't even get serious about anything until you go into the weekend, and then it's, getting your hair done and going out. Be serious and focused about something. And own the life you want. We have to fast. I can't tell you how important fasting is. When I fast, I'm telling you, this last fast, I didn't even want to break my fast. Like, I literally was like on day 3, and I was like, I do not want to eat, but I know if I don't eat, I'm going to wither away into the wind. Like, I can't get too slim. But I was so high mentally and spiritually and emotionally. I'm telling you, it's the best feeling in the world. If you've never fasted before, start off slow. Do a 1-day fast and just do, raw foods, fruits, maybe a salad, and then, or a smoothie, and then do 2 days with raw food, and then do 3 days with raw food, and then you can do 1 day with no food, and then 2 days with at the beginning of the month. We do a unity fast, which was prescribed by Elijah Muhammad, for 3 days at the beginning of every month. No food. I just do water and tea. So you can alter that to fit your own personal needs however you see fit. But we have to fast. And lastly, there's this thing now with us where we blame black men for everything. Like, and absolutely, our brothers got issues, and we could pinpoint to most of the problems that we have, but we could probably find a root that came, as a result of some interference of a man in our lives. Maybe not. But we have to stop blaming our men for everything and start taking accountability for ourselves. We as black women have a lot of things that we need to work on. We have a lot of issues permeating inside of us and festering at the root of us that we're just literally ready to explode at any given moment. I travel this whole country, and everywhere I go, I'm like, black women are so mad, so angry, so bitter. Who wants to be with somebody like that? So if you know a sister like that, or if that's you, get involved. We got to intervene. We got to be mirrors for one another and embrace the other women in your lives, because it is extremely important for us to have sisterhood. I grew up without a mother. There was plenty of times when sisters who saw me going on the wrong path as a young woman and could have intervened and didn't, and let me basically just walk straight into hell with a gasoline dress on. So get involved with the women in your life. I need sisters. I need Sister Sadia. I need Sister Wakiti. Both of them sisters have something that they can teach me that they bring to the table that I don't have. And everybody on this call has something that I don't have. So let's stop with the light skin, dark skin, oh, you're not conscious enough, oh, you're not successful enough, oh, you're not this, you're not that. Let's stop doing that to one another, because you know how it feels when it's done to you. Learn how to embrace and appreciate and elevate other women. And if you can't, then you need to stop, push pause, and look deep within yourself to figure out why exactly that is. I'm going to leave us with this quote from Dr. Frances Cress Welsing. This is the ISIS paper, to get this book as soon as possible. She said, black mothers, not just physical mothers, I'm qualifying this, we're all mothers. Black mothers can teach their daughters that they should never seek to look like or be like anything other than themselves. They can set the standards of what women will be like on this planet, for this is their responsibility, coming from the tradition of the first mothers and queens. Black women can teach their daughters that respect is not given to women by men, but that black women carry in themselves the highest possible level of self-respect that commands respect from men and women of all races. Black women can teach their daughters how they possibly assist in the destruction of black men and black people by allowing black men to hide out in the vagina. To allow this hiding out, she qualifies it as attempts to climb back in the womb to be babies or fetuses again, when they know that the men should turn and face their oppressors, is an extreme level of self-destruction. We have to earn the respect of our children, of our men, but most importantly, ourselves. I thank each and every one of you for listening. I hope we have time for questions, but I know I may have gone a little bit over, so I'm going to turn it back over to the queens. But I thank you and I honor each and every one of you for your time and your attention, and let's do what needs to be done.
Excellent, excellent, Sister ZaZa. We extremely appreciate all that you have said to us. I say this silently to myself all the time. I think you are my twin. I truly do. All the information, I mean, I love it. I think it's well received. It's one thing to say that we can read this knowledge, but now, like you said, we have to put this into practice.
Right.
From, like you said, cleaning our house all the way down to, being an example for our daughters.
Yes.
So, again, Sister Wakiti, would you like to say something before we close out?
I'm in awe. I'm still trying to process all of my notes, but I definitely wanted to say thank you. And on behalf of all of the women that are on the call, the switchboard is definitely lighting. I don't know for sure if we have enough time to take questions, because we try to keep it within a specific time, but we have to invite you back for a part 2 where maybe we can just do question and answers. But the information is just so needed, because everyone is striving. We're all striving in this together to strive to just make our lives and the quality of our lives better. Mm-hmm. And so thank you for everything that God put on your heart today, for tonight. And definitely thank you to all of our listeners for being on. And hopefully something was shared tonight that we can put into practice tonight, starting right now. I have the list of everything that you mentioned, and I'm checking off certain things. I'm highlighting. I'm making stars next to the things that I need to put focus on. And just thank you for sharing.
Absolutely. Thank both of you for this platform. You are the vessel. That is you reaching the tentacles out and touching the lives of our sisters. So I honor and appreciate both of you, as well as all the listeners.
Yes,
definitely. Sadia?
Yes.
And let me just quote you, Sadia. You are going to put this up on YouTube, because I know some sisters may be traveling, driving, or whatnot, who may not have been able to take notes. Okay,
yes,
so can you let them know where they can access?
Yes, we'll do it tonight, and we'll post it on the Sister Cipher and on the Queendom Come website.
Okay, awesome. All right, well, you got me. When you want me to come back for part 2, we can do a Q&A and just build with the sisters. Just let me know. I'm here.
Great, definitely. So I'm looking forward to that one. I'm looking forward to that for sure, to hear what the sisters are going to do from this month to the next, and start putting into practice. And when we flip up some different things that, you want to make sure that you're taking note and inventory of yourself and your growth. You want to start monitoring those thoughts, as she mentioned, and start taking a more reflective approach to what it is that you're doing in your daily lives, when we are taking that time, as Sister ZaZa mentioned, to pay attention to us. You know, how many thoughts are we having in the affirmative? How many times I served someone? You know, when did I stop and actually start to declutter and clean? And how many times I even went for a walk to stay in tune with nature? What is it that I'm doing within this month to see some personal growth? And we want to talk about it. We want to dialogue. We want to hear from the women as we continue to grow this circle of us all needing one another. That's what we call the activated sisterhood, when we know we need one another and we make efforts to do that, to reach and not leave one of us behind. So we want to end tonight by thanking everyone yet again, and I know we say it often, but it's important that we show gratitude to the Most High and to all of you, God, within all of our sisters, for allowing us to have this call tonight. And again, our Queen calls are the last Thursday in every month, and we pray that you all will join us next month. Until then, please remember that a nation can rise no higher than this woman. So says the Honorable Elijah Muhammad. And we will see you all on next month.
May 26th.
Thank you all. May 26th. Thank you, Sadia. Bye-bye.
Peace, Queens.